Last thing, Canelo said that he might bypass May for a rematch with you in September. Your thoughts?
That's new news to me.
Yeah. Would you be open to the rematch?
Terence Crawford, coming off what many consider a historic dismantling of the Mexican superstar, isn't brushing aside the rematch rumors quietly. Instead, he is tearing down Canelo Alvarez's authority piece by piece. While reports suggest a massive September 2026 redemption fight is already being planned behind the scenes, Crawford's response was ice cold. He didn't hesitate, he didn't bargain, and he didn't show interest. He simply laughed. With just 5 words, "That's new news to me," Crawford sent a clear message. The balance of power has shifted. The so-called face of boxing is no longer in control, and for the first time in his career, Canelo is chasing a man who isn't even picking up the phone. For years, Canelo Alvarez has been the center of the boxing universe. He dictated the dates, the venues, and the terms, while opponents rushed to sign contracts on his timeline. That era came to an abrupt end the moment the final bell rang in Las Vegas last September. Crawford's calm reaction to the rematch talk perfectly reflects this new reality. While reports suggest Canelo's camp is scrambling, reorganizing their entire schedule just to secure another opportunity against Bud, Crawford appears relaxed and unbothered, enjoying the aftermath of his victory.
Did you watch the Terence Crawford Canelo Alvarez fight?
Yeah, I did.
Woo, talk about slick. Oh my goodness. Who's ever done that? Who's ever jumped up 2 weight classes like that? It's crazy.
Scary.
He's so clever. And it got to the point where he got so comfortable, he's like pit-patting him and then like, what? You're watching, like, this is amazing.
Like, that's history, obviously. You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever.
Against one of the greatest
greatest of all time, and do what you did. You're beyond an outlier. You're an anomaly.
The psychological pressure here is subtle, but devastating. By casually stating that he's in no rush and needs to consult his team, Crawford is treating the former king of boxing like just another challenger waiting in line. Crawford has openly acknowledged what many fans already see, but few are willing to say out loud. Canelo is no longer the aside. The leverage has completely flipped. It's no longer about which date suits Canelo or which city he prefers to fight in. If a rematch happens, it will be on Crawford's terms. And right now, Crawford seems perfectly comfortable letting Canelo sit in uncertainty, feeling the pressure of irrelevance creeping in. The confidence comes not from arrogance.
So Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford in negotiations to happen 2026, the rematch. And let me tell you something. I'm not bull jiving. See, I don't see this as a Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford rematch. I see this as a showbiz, the adult redemption. I'm going to put all the bags on Terence Bud Crawford to win this damn fight.
But from absolute control over the situation, to truly understand how desperate Canelo's team may be, you only need to look at the reported scheduling changes. Insiders, including ESPN's Salvador Rodriguez, have revealed something that would have been unthinkable just a year ago. Canelo is reportedly willing to skip his traditional Cinco de Mayo fight date in May 2026 for more than a decade. That weekend has been sacred to him, guaranteeing massive paydays and national attention. Walking away from it is a clear sign of crisis mode.
Check this out. News just broke. I want to say it broke maybe yesterday or early this morning. Saul Canelo Alvarez, his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, just said that what was Canelo plans for next year. Now, normally, Canelo fights on Cinco de Mayo, which is a Mexican-American holiday, and he fights on Mexican Independence Day. Canelo just put plans out basically saying that he's not fighting Cinco de Mayo. He wants to rematch Terence Crawford on September Mexican Independence Day weekend next year, 2026. As a matter of fact, here you go.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's longtime trainer and manager, has all but confirmed that their entire focus is now on securing a September 2026 rematch with Crawford. What's even more telling is that Canelo's camp isn't looking for a tune-up fight or a confidence builder. They're not trying to stay active. Instead, they're clearing the schedule entirely, committing to a full year of preparation just to solve the Crawford puzzle. That decision alone shows how wide the gap appeared in the first fight. They know a standard 8-week training camp won't be enough. They need a full year to reinvent a fighter who looks slow, frustrated, and completely outmatched. Yet the irony remains that while Canelo's team is making massive sacrifices, Crawford hasn't even agreed to return.
Listen! Listen, I learned my damn. I'm getting my $20,000 back. I can give a damn if Terence Crawford is the favorite 5-1. I'm gonna put down as much money as I possibly can to get out of that $20,000 Bud Crawford debt. And that's the black damn two sugars. Yeah, I learned my damn lesson. And look at me. Look at me. I am dead serious. Now listen. Now that we got that out the way, let me give my take, okay? First and foremost, Terence Bud Crawford is a damn dog. And let me tell you what I mean. In negotiating for this rematch, he would be the first one out of the fighters who've beaten Saul Canelo Alvarez to give him a rematch. Floyd Money Mayweather didn't give Canelo Alvarez a rematch. Dimitri Bivol didn't give Canelo Alvarez a rematch. But here Terence Bud Crawford doing what he does. And let me give you a side note. Let me just put a pin in that. Put a pin in that real quick. Do you know what Terence Bud Crawford was trying to do? The type of bags he was trying to collect this year? Terence Bud Crawford accepted the Jake Paul fight. Yeah, the replacement fight for Gervonta Tank Davis. Terence Bud Crawford accepted that damn fight. Now, MVP, Jake Paul, they didn't go with Terence Bud Crawford. They went with AJ, which I'm still scratching my head on that. All right, because that is going to be a brutal knockout. But with that said, Terence Bud Crawford said yes to this, knowing damn well he's going to negotiate with Canelo. You want to talk about the bag?
Of course, in boxing, hesitation often translates to money. And in this case, the price for Crawford's return is enormous. This is no longer about regular championship purses. We're talking about generational wealth. Crawford's coach, Bernie Davis, has been vocal in the media, floating a figure that made promoters gasp: a guaranteed $100 million. At first glance, it sounds outrageous, but the logic is undeniable. Crawford has already done the impossible. He moved up, conquered, and cemented his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of this era. With nothing left to prove, why would he risk his health and legacy again for anything less? By setting the bar at $100 million, Crawford has placed the pressure squarely on promoters, broadcasters, and Saudi investors. It's a challenge. If they want the sequel, they have to pay blockbuster money. The demand forces the industry to confront Crawford's true value and highlights how well he understands his position. He's no longer chasing belts or validation. He's dictating terms from a place of total leverage. Another factor behind Crawford's reluctance may simply be a lack of competitive curiosity. The first fight wasn't the war many expected. It was a technical clinic. Fans and analysts have flooded social media with clips showing Canelo swinging at her.
Why the hell would old Canelo Alvarez take the rematch? All right, why would he start negotiating? I'm gonna tell you why. He's a competitor. And there's a few things going on here. Number one, there was a rematch clause. And I do know right after the fight, so Canelo Alvarez was like, there was nothing I could do with it. But I think what happens is you start to sit back. Let me look at the fights. Let me think about this. The fight was closer than I thought. You know, that's what Canelo's thinking, right? Because technically it was. All right, when you think about the copy boxes, put a pin in that. We all know Terence Crawford whooped that man's ass 11 rounds to 1 in reality, all right? But if you count, punches, landed or copy by, statistically, technically, it was a closer fight, okay? Now, Saul Canelo Alvarez also, last time you saw him, he's, nursing and recovering from an elbow surgery, which he had an elbow injury going into the fight. So, you start thinking about stuff like that. I'm talking about if you Canelo, why would you say, let's go ahead with the rematch? I think I got a shot. All right. Being a competitor for one. All right. And number two, the fight was closer technically than you thought because you were in there. And in there, you felt like you were getting your ass whipped. And number three, you went in there nursing an elbow injury. So it's like, I think I may have a chance if I'm 100% healthy. All right. He feels the same way about Bivol because he had a wrist injury going into the Bivol fight. So it's just, you think about all those things and like, yeah, let me give myself a shot. All right. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is get my 20 grand back.
Struggling to cut off the ring and appearing noticeably slower. When you dominate a fighter that thoroughly, the hunger for a rematch naturally fades. Even boxing legends have weighed in. Clips of Manny Pacquiao have resurfaced, where he bluntly advises Canelo to lose weight if he hopes to be competitive again. When icons like Pacquiao point out physical decline, it reinforces what Crawford already sees. Crawford isn't looking at a dangerous rival anymore. He's looking at a fighter who would need to completely reinvent his body and style just to keep up. That reality makes the rematch feel less like a sporting necessity and more like a massive cash grab, which brings everything back to that $100 million price tag. Adding yet another layer of drama to this unfolding saga is the politics of the sanctioning bodies. Amid all these mega fight discussions, the WBC moved to strip Crawford of the super middleweight title he just won, officially citing unpaid sanctioning fees. It's a move that only adds fuel to an already raging fire. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's next. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one.